What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Deconstructing Hip Hop, the show where geek meets ghetto, aka the show we break down classic hip hop beats using modern day music production tools. Now, today's track is a DJ Muggs track, but not the one that I said that I was gonna do way back a few episodes ago. I said that I was gonna do Cypress Hill so I could just kill a man. But yeah, I have no idea where half of those samples came from. And I think only DJ Muggs knows where some of them come from, especially that little tea kettle sounding sample that you hear at the beginning. But yeah, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna do a DJ Muggs track. Now, I chose Xzibit's The Foundation because it really is one of those tracks that, at least to me, shows that hip hop can be way more about than just showing off your money, robbing somebody, grabbing a girl's butt, or grabbing your crotch at the most inappropriate times. Nah, it can be about something as simple and profound as a father talking to his son about the realities of the world and the things that he got to look out for. Now, this was Xzibit's second single off of his debut album. I know the first single was Paparazzi, and for whatever reason, the name of the first album is escaping me right now, so be nice enough to use Google and make my job a little easier. But that being said, I really am not sure what equipment DJ Muggs had used. I'm gonna go out there and use my standard guess of either an SB1200 or maybe one of the early MPCs like an MPC 60. However, I do believe that he did replay or have somebody replay elements of the sample or the song that I thought was sampled for the track, and I'll explain that in a little more detail during the production portion of the clip. However, if you know that he did indeed sample it and use maybe another version that I'm unaware of the track to put it together, just give me a holler over in the comments and I'll see if I could find that version. That being said, I went back to using Machine. It gave me an opportunity just to tweak things a little more. I was going to use something else, but I guess I got lazy, and Hurricane Sandy kind of prevented me from going in there with another piece of musical software to see if I can try my hand at it. But I'm rambling, as usual. So just have a listen and just let me know what you guys think, all right? Now, as usual, I want to start out with talking about the source material first. Now, The Foundation is made up of two tracks. Billy Joel's The Stranger, which serves as the main backdrop for the track, and Universal Minds by the Mystic Moods Orchestra, which is the chorus vocal sample that you hear in the background in and out of the song. Now, The Stranger. The thing about this, I had initially thought that it was a sample, but before I explain it, let me play the sample for you. And like I said, I thought it was a sample to begin with, but when I got to playing with it a little more so, I got to thinking that Muggs didn't sample it, but actually he recreated it. And let me explain to you why. Now this, if it was a sample, this would have been the loop right here, all right? And these three notes right here pose a bit of a problem. Now, I'm not going to try to bore you guys out with all of the audio nerdery, but I want you guys to hear. Now, I went over to, let me go over to Machine and play what I did, because what I did end up doing was simply replaying it, or actually recreating the piano using the contact player over in Machine. Now, have a listen. Now, you hear these three notes right over here. Well, let me head over back to SoundForge and let me play those same notes in the sample. Now, I thought that this was simply just a matter of pitching the sample up, but no, that's not the case. If you pitch the sample up, these three notes fall out of time, all right? So in order to make them go into time, you would have to chop them up. If you chop them up, you introduce gaps into the sample. Now, back when Muggs had produced this, there was no audio stretching like we have today in things like Ableton Live or, Pitch and Time from Rain. It was, you had what you had and you worked with that. I mean, there was some software out there, but that did it. However, I really doubt that it was so popular or even released to the public that Muggs would have used it. I'm pretty sure he probably just used an MPC or maybe even an SB1200 because that's what people were using at the time. But either ways, what ended up happening when I tried to load this sample up and do all the type of magical stuff to it, I couldn't get anywhere close to what we hear in the foundation without using technology that was not available back in when the foundation was released. And even when I did do all the audio stretching and filtering and stuff, it just did not sound right. All right. So what ended up happening was I ended up recreating the track, or I should say the music, in Contact using the piano, using a guitar voice, and a bass voice. All right, now let's head on over to the Universal Mind sample over here. Now this is a nice, eerie vocal sample that you hear at different times in the foundation. Pretty hot. Now there was no real magic going on in putting this into the foundation. Just a little bit of filtering just so that the voices stood out in front of that little guitar that you hear in the background. And that pretty much is it. Now let's head on over to Machine. I went back to using that this week. And let me just play the individual elements out for you. Now here is the piano loop. Not a whole lot to it. I just made sure that when I played it out that I got all of the dynamics correct, because that lends to a lot of the feeling of the track. Anyways, now to get the right sound, or at least close to the right sound, I ended up messing with the EQ a little bit and putting a little bit of warmth using one of the pub plugins from the tone boosters. Now the next part that I ended up recreating, let's turn off the solo and let's solo this, are the guitar and the bass portions. All right, so let me just solo out the guitar. This will not sound like what DJ Muggs had. I honestly think that DJ Muggs had either himself or someone else play a guitar, because you can really just hear the strings being played. All right, so let's mute this and solo the bass. Your typical bass voice. Not a whole lot going on there. Just messing around with some of the settings in the Contact player and, just get a sound that approximated what you hear in the final track. All right, now let's head on over to the drums. Now the drums, there really are not a whole lot to them. What I simply ended up doing was just taking a couple of drum sounds that I had on my hard drive. Kick. What I ended up doing to kind of give it more of a punchy feel, because the kick drum actually stands out in the foundation. I saturated it a bit and then just messed with some of the EQ settings over here. Now this rim shot I had lying on my hard drive is the same one that was used, or actually that I used in my cover of Lil Kim's Queen Bee. I forget where it comes from. Carlos Brody had commented on the Queen Bee video and let me know where the drums had come from. I honestly don't remember. Standard hi-hat just lying somewhere on my hard drive, and a little bit of an 808 bass kick there. Now the choral sample, I don't believe I did a whole lot to it. I just chopped it up. Now here you see I did put some reverb on there using the Tone Boosters plugin, and the same thing with the EQ. I EQ'd it first, got rid of some of the low end. I try to remove those guitars, tried to isolate them over here using messing with the Q and all that other good stuff. And I think I got it to the point where the guitar does not dominate the vocal sample. All right, so I mean you still hear it in the foundation, but it doesn't really just stand out against the rest of the vocal sample. You just hear most of the chorus singing. And last but not least are the strings that you hear, I want to say, around the hook of the track. Just like I had done with the piano, I loaded up Contact, and I just chose a random violin voice, used a chorus plugin, and messed with the Scarlet reverb that came with my Focusrite audio interface, and just did my thing. Now, I'm pretty sure DJ Muggs didn't have a violinist come in because it has a very synthesized piano sound to it. The only instruments that sound like they were actually played by musicians were the piano and the guitar. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. All right, now, this isn't a perfect mix. It's not a one-to-one, but I got most of it down. What I really wanted to do was just kind of capture some of the transitions in the song, where the drums come in, where the chorus comes in, and just really where things just come in and out. All right, and that pretty much is it. If you think that I missed something, or maybe you have an idea for maybe tweaking an element of the track, just hit me up in the comments, and we'll go from there. All right. Yeah, and that pretty much is it. As usual, I'm gonna say that I got pretty close. You know what to do if I made a mistake, but yeah, I'm gonna see if I still keep trying at how I could just kill a man. But I have just some sense that I'm not gonna get that done anytime soon, barring DJ Muggs letting me know where the hell he got all of his source material. Please like the Facebook page at facebook.com/deconstructinghiphop. Feel free to inbox me, send me any messages, say happy Thanksgiving, which is an American holiday here that we're about to celebrate this week. Or, tell me what I should put on my Christmas tree, because it's looking kind of bald right now. Bald apparently is a theme in my house. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/deconstructinghiphop. Or you can follow the show's Twitter feed at twitter.com/deconhiphop. And I just shoot out updates whenever there are new episodes. Or you could follow me personally on Twitter at twitter.com/RogerGill79. And you will get the same updates that you would get on the Decon Hip Hop feed. However, sometimes I get in a little more tweety kind of mood, and I put in some mental health stuff because I am a therapist by training. So, yeah, for those of you in the United States, enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday. For those of you in the rest of the world, do whatever you normally do on Thursdays and Fridays. But until next time, peace.